It's ornament time again. Want to make your own snowfolk, snow person, or snowman ornament? Let's do this. Tools you will need: the trusted three, so that is the bent nose or chain nose pliers, 6-step looping pliers, and a pair of flush cutters. You will also need some sort of thick, round object, so markers, a glue stick, anything will do. This is for the head of the snow person. You will need a steel bench block or a hammer. Now, these two are optional. You can make your snow person and not hammer and texture it or work hard on it, and that's fine too. But if you have this handy, I would use it. You would also need a ruler to cut yourself the wire. Now, for the materials, you're going to need 12 gauge aluminum wire. I'm using 15 inches that I've pre cut. And you will need some ribbon or silk fabric or any scrap of fabric that you would think would look good as a scarf around the snow person. And you'll also need a ribbon or a thread, a thick thread that you can use to create the loop that will help you hang your ornament. So to start, what I'm going to do is flush cut both ends of that wire. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't have the sharp divoted end here. So I'm going to flush cut that. And see how I put my finger in front of it before I cut it so that I don't have small pieces of wire flying all over the place. And this one is already flush cut. Now I'm going to take the second step of my looping pliers. So this is 1 and this is 2. The second step of the looping pliers, and make sure that the wire is not sticking out there, and I'm going to make a P-loop. So a P-loop is one that's not centered, so it's just going to sit there. Then I'm going to move over about 1/2 inch, and then around that second step, I flipped my pliers over. I'm going to make a loop in the opposite direction. So as you can see, we started with this loop going up, so this loop is going down. You could also just flip your piece and do that as well. I flipped my pliers. Now you're going to move that a little bit off to the side, and this is making the hat. So I'm going to make the top hat, and I'm going to use the same pliers to make another angle up here, and then go over a little bit, just a little beyond, or at least up to this loop, and then bring this wire back down. And I want to be under this other wire. Okay, so that would be the hat for your snow person. I'm going to hold the pliers just below where it's joining, see where it crosses over, and I'm going to turn this wire off to the side to go underneath. Okay? That's going to be the top of the head for your snow person. And I'm taking my marker, and I'm starting on the outside of the hat so that I can hold it firmly, and then I'm curling above that start of the wire. See what I did there? I curled that round above it. And then now I'm going to take the hat section and turn that over against the marker. So you're going to have something like this. You see the head and hat forming, and now you can adjust it a little bit. So like I'm just going to adjust that to make sure the hat is sitting on top of the head. There we go. And then we're going to continue around the marker till we go off to the side like that. So now you have the head of your snow person done. And now we're going to go all the way to the end here. And we're going to take our looping pliers in the largest step. And I'm not making a closed loop. I'm just using that to make a swirl. I'm just going to make a gentle swirl and let it shape itself. And then you can adjust it. So like human beings, each of your snow people will be really unique. So have fun with that, and don't get too particular about wanting it like a perfect circle, because no one is a perfect symmetric human. So there we have snow person. That was really easy, wasn't it? So the tricky part is this bit. Once you get that, this is easy. So it might take some practice. It gets easier to get going after you get this hat and the head done. The best way to practice is to do it along with the video. So grab your tools, grab your wire. I'm going to replay this portion again in slow motion. I'm going to have that play out here so you don't have to go back and watch the whole thing again. Now, at this stage, you could just use this as is, tie the ribbon on the top, and you're done, right? But I like to texture my wire and work hard on it. And by that, I mean I'm going to hammer it. So that changes the physical properties of this wire a little bit and makes it a little tougher. Again, totally optional. So if you don't have a steel bench block and hammer, that's totally fine. I'm going to use this ball end of this ball peen hammer. And I'm going to gently just use the weight of the hammer. I'm not smashing it into the wire. I want to make sure that I'm not changing the shape or thinning out the wire too much. And I'm only tapping the sections where the wire does not cross over another one, because when you do that, when it crosses, it can weaken the wire. So I'm only doing this on the parts that don't have a wire over it. The hat. Okay. Now the shape will change a little bit because you've hammered it. You can just use your fingers or take the tools again and readjust that. I'm just going to do that with my hands. Now, once you're happy with the shape, you will take a couple of inches of your ribbon of your choice. Here I have about 4 inches of the ribbon. And then I'm going to go in through the head and around this because I want to tie these wires together. It makes it sturdier, but it also gives you a nice scarf effect. I'm going to tie a simple knot, and there, we have the ornament ready. And for the top, to make sure I can hang it, I have some black ribbon here, but if you have a matching ribbon, that will work great. I'm going to use a top knot. So I'm just making a simple knot with ends of the ribbon up here. And then I'm going to pass that from the back through the hat and pull that up. And there, your snowfolk ornament is ready. You could use so many different options for ribbons to make the scarves and use different color combinations, different things that your family and friends would enjoy, and make unique gifts for each loved one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a beautiful holiday season and a beautiful day.